the hadith, it passes on from heart to heart. So when these outsiders would come, they would want to make the most of this nur of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And so they would ask a lot of questions to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this person, when he asked the question to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam replied, "La yatil khayru illa bil khayr," that good will not come except with good. And he said, "Inna hadha al-mal khadiratun hulwatun." This wealth is green and it's sweet. وَإِنَّ كُلَّ مَا أَنْبَتَ الرَّبِيعُ يَقْتُلُ حَبَةً أَوْ يُلِمُّ. And everything that is grown from the canals and the rivers through water, streams, etc., which the people make little streams to bring to their farms, to bring to their crops, etc., which grows vegetation, fruits, etc. So some, they die eating excessively from all these greeneries and fruits and vegetations that are produced from these streams and canals and rivers, or close to dying. They eat so much that they're literally knocked out on the floor. إِلَّا أَكِلَةَ الْخَضِرَةِ, except the one who eats grass and small plants, etc. حتى إذا امتدت خاصرتاها استقبلت الشمس فاجترت وثلثت وبالت ثم عادت فأكلت, until after filling itself from grass, etc., not the best fruits and vegetables, etc., but the grass, simple food, etc., then it lies down, spreads its legs, or lies down on its back, and it faces the sun, and it relaxes, it urinates, it digests its food, and it takes it out, and then it goes back and carries on eating. وَإِنَّ هَذَا الْمَالَ حُلْوَةٌ, and this wealth is sweet. مَنْ أَخَذَهُ بِحَقِّهِ وَوَضَعَهُ فِي حَقِّهِ فَنِعْمَ الْمَعُونَةُ هُوَ. So whoever takes this wealth, the blessings of this world, the barakat of this world, with right, with truthfulness, with honesty, with giving its due right, in the correct way, and places it in the correct way, in the right place. Whatever wealth is meant to be spent on the children, spend it on the children. Whatever amount zakat one is required to give, gives it. Whenever there's a need, priority, someone is dying, natural disaster, their savings, the money they are using the money in the right way, in the right time and place, whichever way is the correct way, according to the light of Islam, in the light of morality, etc. Then this wealth is a means of help. It's a good assistance. وَمَنْ أَخَذَهُ بِغَيْرِ حَقِّهِ كَانَ الَّذِي يَأْكُلُ وَلَا يَشْبَعُ. And the one who takes it without the correct manner and does not spend it in the right way, he is like that person, which is like he who eats and is never full. So here the Prophet ﷺ gave examples. First is that one who just wants to eat all the best, and eats so much that it ends up dying out of indigestion, etc. And this is the example of those who are too concerned about the luxury of this world, eating the best food, the finest food, the the most delicious food, and this is their concern. You're just going around, checking out the best restaurants, traveling the world, and this is their ambition, what they are occupied with in the free time, all the extra money that they have. It's not enough. They have millions of pounds, still it's not enough. They need more so that they can enjoy the luxury of this world more. So then, these are the people end up dying spiritually, totally dead. They're not conscious of the akhirah. They're not remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and thus they are mentally, morally, spiritually dead. As comes in the hadith, مَثَلُ الَّذِي يَذْكُرُ رَبَّهُ كَمَثَلِ الْمَيِّتِ وَمَثَلُ الَّذِي يَذْكُرُ رَبَّهُ وَمَثَلُ الَّذِي لَا يَذْكُرُ رَبَّهُ كَمَثَلِ الْحَيِّ وَالْمَيِّتِ. The example of the one who remembers his Lord and the example of the one who doesn't remember his Lord is like the example of the living and the dead. So, because they are spiritually dead, they have no iman, their heart is full of darkness, it's just engrossed with dunya, it becomes very weak. Thus, this wealth, these people who do excessive israf, doing excessiveness, exaggeration, extravagance, etc., then this becomes fatal of a person, of their life in this world, their health, etc., and worst of all, it ruins their akhirah. So just like the person who eats too much dies in this world, in the same way, Prophet ﷺ gave him example, those who try to eat too much, consume too much of this world, they harm themselves for the akhirah. And then the other person which is moderate, the average people, who don't run around behind the best of the food and the best of this world, the simple food that they have, the grass, etc. They don't fill themselves up so much that they end up losing the plot, and they only realize, they stop and they realize that they're literally dying of indigestion, etc. Diabetes, or then they realize that you need to start controlling your diet. When they start having gastric, when they're starting having all sorts of illnesses, obesity, then they realize that they need to control. Until then, it's all just eat whatever you like without any balance, etc. So in the same way, many people, with regards to this world, they do extravagance. But whereas the person who eats a simple life, the hard-working people, etc., they're moderate. They eat and then they take some rest, they balance, and then they go back. It doesn't kill them so much. And the best are those who eat very less. They don't have to lie down to digest themselves. They just eat so much that it just keeps their back straight. And the rest of the time, they are focused, they're determined, they are busy with the purpose of their life. Worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, seeking knowledge, serving deen, doing what is right, what is required, striving in the path of Allah, striving and struggling and sacrificing for good cause, for noble cause. Those who believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those who believe in the akhirah, those who believe in the life after death, for them it is necessary and it is required and understandable that they sacrifice more. When we see people who have no faith, they believe that this life is the only life. Yet you see how much sacrifice they make. Voluntarily, they're spending all their wealth, their health, they're struggling for revolution, for freedom. Not because of akhirah, just because it's a noble thing. So these people who, for freedom, for justice, defending the oppressed, defending their nation, all sorts of people are sacrificing their life. They don't even have any hope for the hereafter. Yet they're doing so much sacrifice. Busy night and day. Dedicated, determined. So for those who believe in the akhirah, imagine how much more sacrifice is required for those who believe in akhirah, those who believe that this life is temporary and short. And this is how the Sahaba ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in were. This is why it comes in the hadith the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, when you eat just up to 1/3. and then keep the other third for water, and then keep the last third for air. So you have some freedom, there's room for digestion, etc. So this is the healthy way, which is not going to make you lazy, which is not going to cause any illnesses, which will not, will help you maintain discipline, balance, control, and everything. And thus you'll be dedicated, focused on other important aspects of life. So I think we'll just stop here with this hadith, and inshallah next week we'll do from the next chapter, Babu Dhahab Salihin. If any brothers got any questions, inshallah, feel free to ask.
Yeah, I had a question. So there's some brothers that do feet to feet, and there's others that don't. Like in this masjid, a lot of the brothers, they don't do feet to feet. I know it's a fiqh question.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
I'm sure both of them is from the Sunnah, but why does one do feet to feet and the other doesn't do feet to feet?
Yeah, so those who do feet to feet, they are following the hadith in Bukhari, and so thus they give this preference. And those who don't do feet to feet, they are following other hadith which are mentioned, narrated by Wa'il radiallahu anhu, which is narrated in Abu Dawud, Nasai, and so many other books of hadith like Musnad Ahmad, Musnad Abdul Razak, etc., etc., Musnad Nabi Shayba, so many other books of hadith which probably have more Sahih hadith than what is in Bukhari. Just it doesn't mean that all the Sahih hadith are only in Bukhari. There are so much more Sahih hadith in other books of hadith. The difference is Sahih Bukhari is all Sahih. With the other books, they have Sahih hadith probably more than what is already in Bukhari, and at the same time they have Da'if hadith, etc. So they give preference to that. So when this again an ikhtilaf between the madahib, between the imams. So the hadith which is in Bukhari narrated by Al-Nu'man ibn Bashir radiallahu anhu. He was a very young Sahaba. When the Prophet ﷺ passed away, he was about, where that hadith it says that they would stand shoulder to shoulder, feet to feet, and knee to knee as well. Right? And everybody knows, if you're gonna stand shoulder to shoulder, then how would you join the knee unless you literally bend your knee like this? It's literally impossible to stand shoulder to shoulder as well, and then spread your leg out to touch your feet, and then to knee as well. So because of that, that's one reason that they didn't give this, even though it's Bukhari, like I said. It's not, and this concept of only giving preference to what is in Bukhari is not the way of the Salaf. The Prophet ﷺ did not say that Bukhari is the final. Bukhari was the Imam who came after Imam Hanifa, Ahmad ibn Hanbal, Shafi'i, Malik, etc., and many other Imams, Awza'i, Abdul Mubarak, Thawri, etc., who were far more senior than him, etc. So this is his opinion, and he will take this. So other Imams, they follow the hadith where it just says shoulder to shoulder, and that's why they follow that. And some people, even you see, they try to take everything so literally, and they literally even try to stand knee to knee, etc.
They try to put a full stop. I said that the Bukhari, but whatever goes with the Quran, then that should not be a problem. Because what people do, they follow the same Bukhari, same Muslim, three Mandi, and then what they say, that's it, is a full stop, but it's not a full stop.
Exactly.
Because whatever comes after that, for example, the Shias and the Wajibs and all these people, we are Muslims obviously, but all these other people who have their books, you shouldn't just say, oh, that's the book and that's it. First get to know know the Quran, and once you get to know the Quran, then that way you will know all the hadith indirectly, because Allah puts it through you through the Quran. But what people do, they know the hadith more than the Quran, and then that's where the conflict and arguments start, because they feel like that they know, but they don't.
Yeah.
But just
So-
like Allah, that's what I was
So
trying
if
to
someone, ideally the best is have shoulder to shoulder, and if everybody's standing like this anyway, right, i.e. your feet in line with your shoulder, then that would automatically make it feet to feet as well. And the shoulder, so you will be acting on both the hadith. So, there is no contradiction, and it shouldn't cause a problem, and you are able to, act on the both hadith if you have shoulder to shoulder, stand shoulder to shoulder, and keep your, that's what they say, roughly 4 fingers. So if you stand at 4, 5, 6 fingers normally, then that would be in line with your shoulders, your feet. And if everybody's touching shoulder to shoulder and the feet is in line with the shoulder, then that will also make it feet to feet and fill up the gaps. But some people, they just, I don't know why they make it so, they spread the legs out so much. By doing so, it causes a lot more gap, because it's feet to feet, right, which is only filling the gaps at the bottom part of your body, and then you've got all that space empty. Whereas rather, if you keep your legs closer and you stand shoulder to shoulder, then all this will be blocked off, less space, and then there will be just little space between the legs. So ideally, it should be where you try to balance the both. Don't spread your leg too much. If you do it, then there will be a gap between the shoulders. And if you stand shoulder to shoulder, then you can also keep feet to feet. So there's no really contradiction. People, they make a big fuss out of it. Some people are, because in the books of fiqh, it says that roughly 4 fingers. That's just to give an estimation to a person, right? So 4 to 5 fingers is easy to estimate, right? But there's no hadith saying that 4 fingers or 5 fingers. The fuqaha, they say if you generally keep it like that, 4 to 5 big fingers, then it will be, almost in line with your knee, and in that way it will include both the hadith, and there will be no contradiction. But others, they just want to make a scene, they just want to, start an argument, so they'll spread the legs so much.
Brother, but the thing is that a lot of people have gone to a lot of mosques now, and a lot of people, they don't want to put their feet to feet no more. That is part of your lecture when you were saying that time is coming so close now, things are getting brushed away in the mist. It's like the Prophet said, stand shoulder to shoulder, feet to feet, and even if you can, you have to be close to close. But now, if you was to go into the salah and you was to put your foot like that and touch another brother, he may be mine and feel like, why are you touching my feet? It should not be like that. It should be more encouraging. It should be like, alhamdulillah, because that's what Allah says, that the angels, they pray in rows, yeah? And what they do, they keep the shaitan out. And if you let the shaitan come, because he comes through them little gaps. So it was good what you said about shoulder to shoulder and the 4 fingers, yeah? Because if it's in between, then it does. Even if you're close to your brother and you blocking the inside, you might not be physically your legs in that, but as long as you got the shoulder to shoulder, alhamdulillah, this is a good workout.
Of course, another thing is the whole objective of this shoulder to shoulder, feet to feet, the ultimate, undisputed objective is to keep the line straight, to keep the gaps as minimum as possible, so everybody is closer physically, mentally, with love and emotionally. This is the ultimate objective. And the shoulder, the feet, the knee is not the main objective. The main objective is to keep the line straight and keep people as close as possible. So now, by just trying to, be so strict on your fiqh book, that you totally neglect the hadith, or you be so strict on just the wordings of Bukhari that you totally neglect other hadith and even the general practice of the Sahaba, and worst of all, you end up causing more gap in Salah, because the other person is probably, one person is keeping his leg, he's comfortable keeping his leg a little bit closer, so that person is so strict, they think that's it, this is the objective. right? So then he spreads his legs so much just to be able to touch his feet. So now if he's going to touch his feet like this, then he's automatically kept a distance. He can't keep his knee and shoulder together at the same time. But how is that fulfilling the objective of the hadith? He's created more distance. And worst of all, like the brother said, if someone's annoying, he doesn't like it, he doesn't feel comfortable, it's causing distraction in salah, you got smelly socks on, for example, and you put your socks, and he's smelling it, he doesn't like it, he's moving his feet away. Give him that space. Why are you harassing him for? they keep on following you. So these are all a lot of ignorance and extremism and not knowing the main objective, etc. So whereas previously these ikhtilaf have always existed amongst the A'immah, the Mujtahideen, and they always prayed together in every single Muslim country. There've always been different imams following different madhab. They never have had an issue. You'll never find in the Islamic history books, if you open all the Tariq of Ibn Kathir or Tariq of Al-Bukhari or Ibn Asakir, they will never ever mention that there's ever been dispute in a masjid about Amin bil Jahr or Amin bil Sir or these kind of disputes you'll never find in the Islamic history books.
Most of it.
Right? And nowadays, every masjid, every community, this is the talk of the day. These brothers of this madhab, those who do Amin loudly, those who do this, they are trying to take over, they want to do this way, these kind of things never existed.
Yeah, but brother, these are the most things what you have to understand. We take these lightly, but these are not lightly issues, because what it is, everything is a part of test. And what you have to understand is this, that if someone's your brother, your child, you will keep him close to yourself, and you can see it, you can do it with your own child. When you're in salah, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whether it's giving a little salam, whether it's giving madawah, whether you're standing to him shoulder to shoulder or not, if it was your own kid, you will stand close to him and you will teach him, put your foot to foot. And it doesn't matter, it's not about smelly socks, this is just issues of the dunya. Really, I believe this, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you shoulder to shoulder, foot to foot, because Allah's going to now tell you on the day of Qiyamah, is that, oh, my brother, when you was going to other masjids, you would stand shoulder to shoulder to the ones you know, your relatives, and the ones who you don't know, then you want to keep them distance. This is a test, brother.
Ask your question,
inshallah. Take these things lightly, but jazakallah for the answer, and it was nice to hear from you.
Any other questions, sir, brother?
Because you mentioned that the Sahaba, radwanullah alayhim, they had so much respect for Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, because they lived with him, they were the companions. Sometimes they were so shy to ask questions. So were they always waiting for the opportunity somebody else to ask, or the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, because of his character, you would know his Sahabas, so you always was teaching them without them asking?
Yeah, he would always, obviously, every occasion, he was always teaching them whenever he's revealed, or whenever he would see somebody doing something, he would always give them advice. Sahabas would also come to him for advice. So he basically, there wasn't any time where someone did something and they needed some advice, they needed correction, let alone needing correction, where they needed some advice in doing this particular thing in a better way. The Prophet ﷺ never ever remained silent. He always gave the best advice. Whenever he saw someone doing something, eating something, sitting in a particular way, wearing the clothes in a particular way, he would always give this advice. So most of the time the Prophet ﷺ is already informing of the important things, and anything that he sees, he would inform someone, and whenever this Sahabi would be informed about something new, these reports would spread like wildfire. Straight away he will go and tell this his companions, his children, and they would constantly be spreading knowledge. And this was their concern, this was their occupation, this was their hobby, the most enjoyable, passionate thing, and the most valuable thing to them, to their families, to their loved ones. And anybody that wanted to be kind, they knew that spreading this knowledge is the best form of kindness, best form of generosity. This is the best wealth. And thus they would teach one another. So whenever a Prophet would teach something to a Sahaba, generally it would already spread amongst the Sahaba. Right? And if any reason a Sahaba didn't receive that information, then again, Prophet saw him, he would corrected. And at the same time, the Sahaba, anything which is important, without which they are confused, whether it's correct, halal or haram. These kind of things, obviously, they wouldn't hesitate. It's a must. They would ask, right? But things which didn't affect their everyday life in terms of rights, duties, halal and haram. But things like, who was Dhul Qarnayn, which tribe did the Ya'juj and Ma'juj going to come from, where is the wall, which is not compulsory, which doesn't affect your practicing on Islam, which doesn't affect anybody's. So these kind of extra things, they would be, shy to ask. But anything was necessary, they would ask. And even when they would ask, and the Prophet ﷺ, being their teacher, respecting that, Prophet was the teacher, and he said, I am like a father to you. And in return, the Sahaba would be humble, and before asking him something, they would ask like a beggar, like a student. They would feel so indebted. And this is why, because they were learning, this is a valuable thing. They are indebted. And that's how it should be. Knowledge is the most valuable asset. Anybody can have, anybody could give. So, and this is the Islamic concept. The most valuable in the world, of the best of the world, is knowledge. And as Muslims, we all should have this belief that knowledge is the most valuable. And if we truly have this value, we respect knowledge, then automatically the person that we learn something from, who we regard to be generally more knowledgeable than myself, whether it's about, does this break my wudu, does this break my salah, can I do this, can I not do this, what is the meaning of this verse, I know I will always get an answer. I am seeking knowledge from that person. Automatically, this person, if he had value for knowledge, would be humble in front of that person. He will be indebted. Just like we all know that you don't get money for free. First of all, you're going to be very shy to, lower yourself. To go and ask someone for some money, please give me £1,000, I need to build a house or something like that, whatever, I need to buy a car. First of all, you'll be very humble. You'll feel shy. And then when you do ask, you're not going to go say, give me £1,000 and you got so much money, why don't you give it, what's all that money for? You're not going to ask in this arrogant way. Right? Even if you're a poor person, this zakat is your right. It is your right that this wealthy person spend on you, or else this person will be labeled as a miserly, careless, stingy, selfish person. And as a poor person, it's your right. Yet, with poor people, when they go to wealthy people, do they come and say, give me some money, man, you got so much money? No, they will go and say, please, give me some money. And if they give something, more or less, because they have importance, they will be indebted to this person for the rest of their life. Right? So, we see everyone. For wealth, when we ask someone for money, we ask in a very humble way. When we get it, we are so grateful. And we always intend it. But why is it for knowledge? Our masjid teacher, our madrasa teacher, our local imam, we call them to our house whenever they want, whenever in the masjid we stop them, but yet we don't feel any humble. We think it's like, it's my right, I am the boss, I am the wealthy person, so this person should come and... It's this attitude, again, which reflects the lack of respect for knowledge. And lack of value for knowledge. So with this attitude, you might just call the ustad, you might just, Skype, just call them to your house, or whoever, you don't make any sacrifice, you might know the fact and the figure and the information. But in the long term, you will see that this knowledge is not going to be as beneficial. You will not see the reflection, the barakah, the effects of this knowledge in your life. And your life will not be as like the people of knowledge. You will see still. You might have lots of facts and figures. You've got many online scholars who ask here and there. It's easy, but it doesn't have the same effect. Whereas on the other hand, a person might ask less questions. but they have so much respect for knowledge. And when someone does give them knowledge, they are you see this person becomes more knowledgeable in a very short time. You know, everybody starts respecting this person for being more knowledgeable before he even knows. He doesn't even realize that he's got knowledge until everybody respecting him and, you know, pushing him forward as the imam, etc. Then you realize, okay, subhanAllah, you know, okay, fair enough. Allah, alhamdulillah, has given me a bit more knowledge than the average person, etc. So this is the effects of being humble and valuing your knowledge. You might not be asked so much question, etc. But whatever you do ask, it will be much more beneficial. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know, give us a tawfiq to value knowledge, respect the Ahlul Ilm, etc.